Hello and welcome to the Foundry Roundtable, the podcast exclusively covering the Foundry for Star Trek Online. I'm your Tame Foundry author, Drogan1701, and with me are three people who are just not very interesting at all. Greendragoon, Markhawkman, and DuncanIdaho.
We have many things to talk about today.
Turns out we're just like normal people in real life who live really
Normal
boring,
people,
horrible jobs.
yes. Pretty much. This is like the least boring thing we do. Hopefully. Anyway, obviously the Foundry is offline at the moment because of the Season 14 update. However, the downtime process seems to be going quite quickly. Missions started appearing a couple days ago, and not everything is obviously up yet. You can look at just, at the KDF Spotlight mission list to see that it is blank. So the process continues. But in any case, one thing we did discover today is that someone forgot to turn reviews off. So,
so yeah, go and test your missions. It will be it could be very, very important. So go test.
Hopefully nothing is broken.
Hopefully nothing, but this is the time where you really want to be sure.
Yeah, and pay attention to the reviews that you are getting in case somebody else finds something that is broken.
Yeah. So, yeah, if something's broken, then we can just shout wildly, like, turn off, and hopefully cryptic
it may not be your fault if something is broken. Or it might be. I don't know. Maybe you published a broken mission. Maybe you're like that. I don't know.
We're absolutely positive, maybe, possibly sure, kinda, that we're not screwed.
I'm hoping that we're going to end up getting some new stuff, because we have a new set of ground enemies that we've seen in game already, and at least a handful of new ships, the Newts and Kethy ships, and I'm not sure if it's a Lucari or a Kintari design, but that flying saucer thingy.
Lucari.
Yeah, it's the runner-up Lucari design.
I'm pretty happy to have that one. That's a pretty cool design.
Yeah, you guys did forget the most important thing.
What's that?
That's shipped around the Season 14 scans. We might get scans in the Foundry because it's
and
Zero
kilts.
And kilts. Yeah.
Yeah, Zero did say that it was the thing that she's happiest with. That's ever released in Stowe. So if any costume piece from recent releases comes in, scans are going to be one of them. So
yeah. Duncan will not be pleased until he puts Quinn in a bathrobe.
Plus the
oh god, I've already
uniforms as well.
Yeah, I've already made jokes about Quinn wearing a scan and the position of his desk to be the worst possible thing to have for an officer in a scans. He's got the stairs right there and an open-sided desk. Come on. You got to make a joke about that in the Foundry. Yeah. It's just in writing, I got to get that in a mission.
Funny thing is that they're so impractical that even the women stopped wearing the scans on Star Trek.
Another interesting thing is that have you seen what the kilt costume looks like on a female character?
I have not. I've only tested it on a male character.
Yeah, actually, it basically just looks like a slightly odd variation of a skirt, really.
So if you want a plaid skirt for your female characters, there you go.
Mm-hmm. It's just that it goes up above the waist a little bit, and apparently goes over whatever shirt you're wearing. That's all.
Oh, so like 70s fashion here.
Exactly.
Well, TNG obviously drew a lot from its fashion from the 80s, so...
And 70s, I think.
Yeah. Certainly not out of our own possibility for Stowe to do that.
Also, do you remember that outfit that McCoy was wearing at the beginning of Star Trek The Motion Picture?
The one that showed just a little bit too much chest?
and there was like a huge medallion he had on or something.
Yeah, of course.
Like that. Yeah.
It was like the Protocon shirt.
I absolutely want that. That's another one that would be great to have in my suggested collection of the worst Trek fashion to go in the low buy store, or not the low buy store.
Oh, that is such a long list.
Gold press.
Yeah, it's the Jake Sisko / Wesley collection,
and Neelix.
We got some Neelix stuff already.
A lot of others you can name. So anyway, obviously we are going to talk about season 14 stuff tonight since the Foundry is down, starting with the bridge that we're on, which is the Zenkethi bridge.
It's pretty.
I went and bought the escort off the exchange for 200 million.
Ooh, fancy.
It's a good price for.
Yeah, for a ship that just came out.
It's a good price for actually a single lockbox ship. You know,
that is actually a surprisingly cheap price for something that's brand new like that.
If it's not in like super high demand.
It's what you got to look for is how many ships were in the box. There's just one ship in this box, and other than the little Scout, which is not relevant to this equation. But look at how many T6 ships you could win, and there was just one. So 200 is about a good price for this. It won't start there. It always starts around 400, but it always comes down.
Oh yeah.
It also depends on how badly this ship is wanted.
Also true.
I just noticed something interesting about this bridge, and that's that I see 6 actual bridge officers on your bridge.
Yes, and I haven't had time to put them in the Zenkethi armor.
I did pick up the Zenkethi armor, and I love that.
It's got some cool parts to it, for sure.
It's really, really, really good for miscellaneous alien armor, and I really hope we get it, because you could do a lot with it.
Actually, nice. One of your buffs looks like he's wearing it. Wire Licker. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's
yours probably actually displays different bridge officers from mine. Or no, actually back here. There he is.
Yeah.
I
needed to adjust his height. Right now he's basically an Oompa Loompa.
You remember that this old TV show called The Guyver? That's what this armor reminds me of. That or the outfits off of that old Beetleborgs TV show.
Well, what I discovered is for bridge officers, first of all, the Noskin bridge officers that I had on this character couldn't wear it. And
That's
then
interesting.
So I got all aliens, and they could wear it, but there are some missing pieces.
Yeah, you got it. Like, there's some weirdness going on right now, and there's some bug reports in.
Yeah, I see that Trask is wearing this chest piece that I guess the Wireliker can't wear.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to use the full armor set, not just the pieces, to be able to get the armor in full. Otherwise,
buffs don't have that option because buffs only get uniforms.
Yeah, although sometimes
they can wear armor.
Yeah, sometimes you can get it, but sometimes that's not properly set up right. So sometimes, like with the temporal armor, there's an oversight. So it seems like Cryptic's got to adjust some settings for armor here.
So many things that have to be handled on a case-by-case basis. I just noticed something. This conference table has a thin glass sheet above the actual tabletop. It's like 3 inches or so up above the tabletop.
It's basically just my desk. Although it's not free floating. I don't have a gravity field.
Also, it looks almost like it's designed to recess into the floor.
I bet you that's exactly what they had in mind. Maybe.
The table's a bit too long for that.
It's too big, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting, though.
I'll tell you one of the things that we really liked about this map is the doors.
Yes, the doors.
These walls are an interesting shape, too.
So we haven't actually seen any Zenkethi interiors before this in any of the featured episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, they got talked about in a lore blog, but yeah, it's kind of one of those they don't really.
we're wondering if this will appear in maybe a future featured episode.
It'd be a shame if it wouldn't. I really like the walls here.
Oh,
yeah.
I think this map was built with the secondary purpose of being in a mission, because it's got a transporter pad and B, a conference room.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to meet with the Zenkethi.
Although, well, I mean, we've already had peaceful contact with at least one Zenkethi, so
it's part of the arc.
Like they weren't shooting at us counts as peaceful.
Yeah. They were shooting with us. Anyway.
Well, I mean, this particular Zenkethi specifically says, like, okay, I never had a reason to want to kill you. I was here for some other reason, and since that's done with, I'm going to leave now. Thank you for whatever.
Well, that leads us into
helping, I guess.
What we're going to do next, which is the featured episode. So, I had a request to switch to Fed, so I'm actually going to switch to my other account.
Yeah.
And now everyone gets kicked off your bridge.
All right, so y'all switch to Fed characters.
Yeah, you guys want Jagoro on this one because she has become somewhat godlike over the last season. They keep giving me lightning powers. Because yeah, that's totally a viable build now for ground and then for space. Yeah, I've been going through
just do all damage. Lightning powers.
I'm trying to get that. I've made some concessions to explosives just so I actually have some firepower. But
I should do that and then like create a new character and with all lightning powers and make him look like Gandalf.
Yeah, because you get Sompek Lightning, Sabotage on an Engineer. You can use Sabotage, which is a great one. There's some competitive rep and Lucari modules. Like actually, the competitive rep modules that will also have lightning damage in Science and Tactical. But Sabotage is so good this season.
If you're going with a like a god / mage theme, you could also use some of the Winter or Ice Kit modules.
Elemental damage.
Yeah,
I had actually considered doing.
If one were to go over to a fantasy MMO,
I considered doing an Avatar: The Last Airbender build.
Alrighty, so
hail for Melting Pot, and Transwarp there. The handy button.
Here we are, not waiting until the last minute to play through the featured episode this time.
Not this time, no. So before we go in, it was noticed by many people, especially Mark, that the previous featured episode got slotted into the timeline actually back in the Klingon War arc.
There's additional Geordi voiceover, too, for some of the mission contacts.
Yes. Mark, take us through which ones.
Okay, so the ending of... Okay, hold on, I'll back up. When it was the featured episode, people made the observation that Geordi made a specific comment that was seemingly out of place. Namely, that it is good to see you again. Which is, wait, what? We've never seen Geordi in the story before. They changed that. Okay, now, the mission where you go to Vulcan to pick up Ambassador Soketh and take him to beach him, at which point he gets revealed to be an Undine infiltrator. That one now has you get rescued by Geordi at the end of the mission. Because when the Undine battleship appears, in the old version, you had this fleet show up that was led by a man named Phelan, who was the captain of the USS Kirk. Well, now Geordi and his ship show up instead.
That's kind of interesting because that pays off later. I mean, eventually, later in the Killing and Story arc, you meet or you come to the assistance of the USS Kirk, and that's where Mael Paris is kidnapped from.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting because I'm wondering if that the mission with the USS Kirk later has any sort of a reference to diplomatic orders at all.
It's been revamped a couple of times, but originally it was kind of this in the diplomatic orders one, they would foreshadow as like, glad we could like save you. Hopefully someday you can return the favor, and then it's kind of foreshadowing to later when you assist the Kirk when they get invaded by Klingons.
The other thing that got changed is that, well, okay, there's two things actually. There were a few small tweaks to the dialogue in Beyond the Nexus. Originally, it had mentions of the Kintari and the Lucari in it, but those were just like one-off comments about current events or something in game, which just got erased, so that now they just don't talk about them at all. The other thing is that Temporal Ambassador, if you're fed anyways, now has as the mission contact Geordi LaForge.
Along with several, like hide and seek and stop the signal.
Really? More of them, huh?
Yeah. So we got Geordi giving us orders when we're lowly lieutenants and lieutenant commanders.
That is cool.
I suppose it helps break up Admiral Quinn all the time.
A little bit, yeah.
And of course,
gets a canon character right there in the beginning of the story for newish players.
Yeah, not to mention, I mean, if you get a voice actor in to record audio, you kind of want to get your money's worth and get him into as many things as you can.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's start Melting Pot. Now, everybody pick up the mission this time.
Yep, I did that. I brought the big ship.
Construction of the colony is underway and on schedule. We're lucky. We would have missed this system if the crew of our survey ship hadn't taken a closer look at the anomaly here.
It's quite unusual, isn't it?
Very. The anomaly orbits both the planet and its moon, and appears to be stable. It's also very disruptive to long-range sensors. The USS Challenger's team has been very helpful. They've installed several planetary defense systems and provided a number of modular building units for use at the colony site.
Starfleet is quite adept at colonial operations.
Actually, as a Romulan player, you get sounds like things are progressing without any problems.
Acknowledge. Helm, set a course for the Challenger's location.
Good to see you. I hope the Dran-Nur anomaly didn't give you too much trouble getting here. We've been working with the Kintari and the Lucari to study it. We know it's some sort of subspace disruption, similar to what Starfleet has seen in the Delta Triangle.
I'm actually wondering why they specifically mentioned the Delta Triangle.
Okay, so remind me what that was.
It's no TAS.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you remember that mission I did called TAS Redux? That's all about the Delta Triangle and finding this weird subspace distortion that you think might be able to give you a way to get in there permanently.
Let's begin with a system scan. I've seen some strange data at that level.
Same here. It'll be good to get some
just
more eyes
our
on
sensors, Captain Forge.
Somebody's getting ahead of us.
Agreed. Let's calibrate
sensors.
Sorry.
I don't know. I'm just circling you
Down
guys.
on the interference.
I think it's just running dialogue, but we've got a pop up here.
I've indicated an ideal area. Let's try again there. We're making progress, but I can't completely filter the sensor noise.
I haven't completed an
Study those
objective.
asteroids. There could be clues in how the anomaly affects them.
Yeah, one thing I noticed with this mission is that there's a lot of those little talking dialogue thingies where it comes up because you move to a certain part of the map. And it's not directly connected. It's not directly connected to mission progress. Oh, also that reminds me, this glowing ring thingy, we don't have that in the Foundry yet.
Yep. It's basically new art asset.
Oh, yeah,
that
new
means
arts.
new art. We don't get it in the Foundry.
Asteroids, mostly iron and silicons.
I just noticed something. That's a habitable moon. If you look at the moon, it's a tiny thing, but it appears to have an ecosystem on it.
Well, it's got something green.
Looks like the emitter relays are offline.
I mean, it's a plant shade of green though. Could be
giant algae fields.
Who's hard to say.
Could be methane links for all we know.
Well done. I'd like to run a spectral analysis at the indicated area.
Lots of copper.
Let's send a probe to the moon and collect some data on long-term anomaly exposure.
Agreed.
4 ships is totally overkill for this assignment.
It probably mucks things up a little bit because I think the dialogues play in a certain order, and if you have ships at multiple locations, then it'll trigger multiple things at the same time.
Our science teams have extensive facilities on Dranur. They can help.
Look at Kamarki get all excited about science.
Science!
I don't know, I guess it's like what she lives for or something.
It's like Duncan with a tardigrade.
I'm eager to show you the progress we've made here. We've done a lot in a short period of time, and I think you'll be impressed.
And we get Bones to help us.
See what we've been working on?
Think.
His character has the full holographic bridge crew. He's living out his TOS fantasy.
Welcome to the
I love how that's quite literally what it is.
Just telling me a bit about some recent energy tech improvements.
Hey, did you notice anything interesting about where I
I'm
beamed in?
role-playing this character as
It's
myself.
on the grades.
Look where I beamed in.
As an engineer,
Dialogue.
I'm impressed by the technology that our partners
Who's got the
brought to this
dialogue?
project. Working with it has been a rewarding experience for all of us.
See, welcome to the colony. Kamarki was just telling me about some
Lead
recent
on,
energy tech
Captain.
improvements. Oh. It's kind of interesting that there's a Ferengi Nafar shuttle here. Although Kamarki does mention that they've done significant trading with the Ferengi.
It might just be available ground scale asset.
Hey, do we have that
on
one
it.
in
We
the
already
Foundry?
Yeah, we definitely have that in the Foundry. Same thing with the Romulan shuttle and the Chosen shuttlecraft.
Hmm.
Although I do note that there is one new ground scale ship associated with PvEs, and that is the Zenkethi escort.
The Federation is always glad to be of assistance with fledgling colonies.
We're trying to build an industrial
The Romulan Republic is committed to being a good neighbor to other allied systems and species.
A good neighbor, the Republic is there.
What'd the second one
Dranur is
say?
quite the hidden paradise, don't you think?
Because
We only needed a minimum
on
of
this
human
character,
air.
it showed us something about how it's aesthetic and pleasing or something.
Let's all go look at the plant.
It's
Using of
xenoscaping,
Kintari
not
and
just
Kintari
a planter.
technology has been very effective.
Nah, it's a
Our
planner.
integrated tech output continues
Well,
to
planter
improve.
is in just
This display
plants
will confirm that.
in a pot.
Shows you, Kari planters are light years ahead of ours.
Our energy grid uses an array of natural power
Like
sources.
I made an
This is the
interesting
first of many hydropower
note
sites
about
on
this
Dranur.
particular lagoon
Beautiful.
in this area here, is that when you go to the colony holding version of this and jump into that pool of water, it teleports you to the spawn point.
If you do that in the PvE, it won't. Because, like I like to do on the PvE, if I'm on floor 3, I'll jump onto floor 2. So I've once missed.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to walk out.
Sight, isn't it? I've surveyed the output as part of setting up hydropower here.
Like
Which
the
option do we want?
Let's just go through all of them, because this sounds interesting.
Well, there's
How much
stuff we gotta get to tonight, though.
How much power do you think the waterfall will generate?
I'd eyeball this at a base of 3 kilowatts, which doesn't seem like much until you consider that there are falls like this all over the coast. They seem to be active year-round. Now, the challenge will be to capture that energy without disrupting the ecosystem.
I noticed that you're wearing a breath mask, but the air here isn't polluted.
My lungs were damaged by toxic gases on New Kentar. It's made me more conscious of the need to regulate the pollution that we generate. And more.
So does this mean that he's wearing the mask as like a extra oxygen supply or something?
It says his lungs were damaged.
There's an excellent view of the colony.
Something special that he needs for that.
One thing I noticed about this that's kind of cool, and something you don't see in a lot of missions, but it's not the first time we've seen it, is the little arrows pointing you to things. However, this time it's not a full trail, it's just like a handful of arrows.
The beauty of this world will survive only if we work to.
I do want to note on the NPC that we just talked to with the breathe mask, that wasn't the original design of the NPC. It was basically a placeholder from the New Kentar NPC list. And then Cryptic realized, oh, wait a minute, that's actually pretty cool to have him on it with the breathe mask. So they added the backstory to that character.
There's more to be done, but the foundation
so it kind of shows what you can do if you just sort of look at what you have and then say, hey, that's actually pretty cool, and you adapt to it.
Oh, well, would you like to know how I managed to bypass the Invisawall on this map?
Random jumping.
No. Very careful, specific jumping.
New jumping had to be in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Well,
Mark's jumping is more art than science.
No.
I don't think this is the way we're going. I think we're over here.
We need the other.
But I want to go this way.
Our researchers can be a bit eccentric.
Hold on. Here, I'll actually show you quickly. What it is that this railing here, you can't jump over the railing properly, or you're not supposed to anyways. But
Duncan.
if you,
I fell off because of rubber banding, so I'm going to see if I can go surfing.
If you're not supposed to be able to jump off, but you can. They just forgot to put an Invisawall here at all, and you can then run around and do stuff that you're not supposed to be able to do.
It is actually
possible. It's actually possible to get back up, but you have to basically climb the mountain behind you, and then jump off the mountain onto the top of the building.
Okay, I think we should proceed because this is very dangerous. I got majorly stuck, and I'm not going to
The first time I did this, I found a hole in the geometry and fell off the map.
Yeah,
I got stuck. Beam up and me back down.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at having to do. So I think we should just keep going on this one.
Let's just transfer to next map.
Map transfer.
We should be able to get results from one of the lab consoles here.
Beep boop on doing science.
Sir, there's a massive amount of data coming in from the probe. Some of the things that stand out include the fact that the lunar scale is relative to the planet, only slightly larger than Earth's moon, and that the moon has a high-density core and a large amount of silicate and germanium dust.
Germanium.
Sorry, germanium.
Not geraniums.
Those
not
are flowers.
Nothing extraordinary, but it just underscores how much we run into worlds that seem familiar to us.
Like someone may have seeded them with preserver juices.
Very well, let's see what the scientists have to say.
The eccentric scientists, which really aren't that all that eccentric.
And by eccentric, she means Kentari.
Ah, we've been expecting you. You've sent a good deal of interesting data.
Okay, he has an eccentric name, that's for sure.
I'll let my companion Eshel explain the findings in more detail.
Babe,
Jordy's. I'm just gonna say Jordy's getting very close to me. It's a little awkward.
Hey, personal space, dude.
Personal space. He's only following me.
Jagora just has that magnetism.
What have you learned from it?
Thank you, my dear. The first thing I realized is that the inert particles should be orbiting to obey gravity, rather than holding position. I've been focusing my attention there, while Ursha has been reviewing the logs from the disabled satellite. Here, check the probe data from the moon. If some outside force was acting on the particles, it should also be affecting the moon.
May just be a symptom of a larger issue affecting the particles, though.
Odd that the moon is still orbiting normally, but the dust particles are not. This data says that the moon is 55% germanium crystal. That's unusual.
That's a lot of eggs.
Here, I'll show you.
I think maybe by eccentric it means stupid enough to mess with these crystals.
Those here, despite the danger they present?
And the Geordie face palm.
We needed the
I should point out, at no point have these shown any danger.
We were just going to take them back to the moon when we finished.
They are egg-shaped.
I'm getting a message.
They probably look like insects on the inside now.
They're mysterious things in Stowe. Of course they're dangerous.
And we all know what the Sinkethi are planning.
I'm glad they destroyed the moon, or wiped out the moon, because 55% of that, 55% of it was germanium. That means 55% of the mass of the planet was horror monsters.
Here's something I feel the need to point out. What does the word germanium actually mean?
It's
an element.
Yeah.
Why are they
an actual element.
Yeah, really.
Yep.
But the fact that these things are made mostly out of germanium is strange, to say the least.
So it's going to be, part of their physiology, but I think it's probably the most of the mass there is probably also going to be in the armor. Why am I still going through dialogue? Lightning power.
So remember what I said about that how they have their own unique icon, kind of like boss shape. Or actually, I'm not really sure exactly how to best describe it.
We need to get the colony's defenses online right now.
Also, it would be nice to have these little egg prop thingies, including the broken eggshells. Oh, also, this facility that we're inside. Well, one observation I made is that this is actually part of the ground map. And that the exterior map is actually part of the same thing. It's just that it's doing like with DS9 and moving you to a different location, which in this case happens to be underneath one of the hills. As far as like.
Yeah, they like to do that a lot.
Yeah. Well, it saves a map transition.
Well, actually, hold on. If you just like pause and bring up the map here, and look to the right, you'll actually see the location we were at earlier.
Yeah, off to the side there.
Mm-hmm. Well, apparently that's true on the fleet holding too.
Yeah, fleet holding can do the teleportation thing, so it might be part of a later project unlock.
Actually, that looks like a different map.
It might be a part of a tier upgrade or something.
Yeah. Very useful ability for engineers on this one. Mines. Yeah, some things to pay attention to is that these guys, Cryptic designed them to come in waves, and there are glowy, flashy ones that you apparently want to destroy because they will kill you.
Cargo is blocking the way.
It just hasn't happened for me yet because I do a pretty good job with AoE on these characters.
The phrase Zerg Rush comes to mind here.
Yep. Taylor got Zerg Rushed on the last 10 forward. He fought bravely, but alas, in vain.
Note how I'm using AoE abilities on the critters.
I've got the mines set up pretty well.
Oh, also, we get a name. That's Sinkethi call these things friends.
It sounds like a type of pasta.
Defenses
or be destroyed.
That's
really
with the tomato sauce.
Are you here to bomb
that
us?
one's wearing
To
crystals.
eradicate this swamp?
Maybe they're like trophies or something.
Possibly.
Let's clear this place and be done.
That is clearly a female voice.
I like the Zenkethi.
If I haven't made it clear, I want a Zenkethi bridge officer.
I at least want a default Foundry contact NPC so we can start writing decent missions.
That'd be nice.
Because we just got the ground mobs, and that's not good for writing.
We want to talk and be friends.
I want to make one of these a member of Starfleet Security. Come on.
I'm currently working under the assumption that the adult Drantzuli are actually a sentient species. And why did that Zenkethi turn invisible?
They have a
cloaking field. It's a power, actually.
Well, the little back shell thing didn't.
Ooh,
Just
Zenkethi
the
humor.
Rest of this.
Oh, firepower!
Wish the cloak drone worked on us, because, you know, we're allies now, right?
But they're happy. More drones. Mines. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom.
So, is one of the new powers that cool back shield they can do?
Not as far as I know yet, but
No.
There's a few others. I mean, you got their their AOE artillery ability. I think you also get one of their gravity powers, and then
Talk to
a
Nethpar.
shockwave.
Let me check my scanner.
Oh, that's the
The
Zenkethi.
infestation seems to be eliminated. Usually it's best
I
to
like
be
the modulation on
absolutely
these guys.
sure, but there doesn't
I have
appear
to say,
be
it's
any
hilarious
waste
that
of matter
on
weapon.
both sides in this
Don't make
use
mistake again. Take
stuff to
immediate
tap
action
into
if you
the
suspect
other's
the presence of
comms.
Drantzuli.
The Zenkethi are like, oh yeah, by the way, you were broadcasting unencrypted traffic. That's why we came here to bother you. And we hack into their comms. Kind of interesting.
Thank you for your assistance. This colony world still has an opportunity to flourish.
As a Romulan, you see it as, now that the Menace is destroyed, there's no reason to attack this world.
Zenkethi ships are moving to attack position, Admiral. We need you on the bridge as soon as possible.
And beam up, I guess. It's kind of interesting. They definitely wrote dialogue for multiple factions on this.
Ooh, I could just choose to...
Oh. Yeah, they tend to do that on all the missions.
No threat. I witness its complete purge.
Know your place, Captain. Follow protocol. Am I clear?
Captain, look just the back side. That's a case of this.
Sure, we'll make short work of these. Then Kathy, who refused to be friendly.
Reading more ships on sensors. Watch your flank.
I'm trying to remember, what power do my fighters have again? Oh, well.
Speaking of which, I got fighters on the ship.
I've got lots of fighters too.
I don't.
So Drogon's the only person who doesn't have fighters?
It wouldn't really fit with the TOS constitution, would it?
He'd try Cobalt Cluster. Billy Rajpay's battleship. I think you're going to non-explode. Okay. I think you're going to explode.
That might be their new weapon.
Uh-oh. The dreadnought that looks like the creatures from Pitch Black.
Hmm. Oh, those little, like, things coming out the side? Yeah.
A hammerhead.
See the command ship though. That aside from those little like wing things coming out the sides, it looks off. Oh wait, speaking of which, the sequel of Pitch Black, you had him fighting that alien race who used Vulcan ships.
And I have assumed control of Zenkethi forces in this sector. That must cease hostilities and speak reasonably.
I'm listening, Captain.
As you and I both know.
I like to think of what she did when she incapacitated her commanding officer.
There is no reason for
Just kicked him real hard.
We will leave this system peacefully if you are agreeable.
Very well.
Better than the Vulcan neck pinch, right?
A warning. The Autarch's resolve
Where was Zenkethi? Just massive beating.
will not rest until the Dranzuli
Chain of command!
and he will not spare anyone.
It's an actual chain with a Brock on it.
Choose your side carefully.
See, one thing I'm kind of curious about is that why is it that the Autarch is so like fanatically devoted to killing off the Dranzuli? I mean, yes.
I don't know why
we
the
can see
Klingons
that
so fanatically devoted to killing off the Tribbles.
Maybe we'll find out in the next one.
We know that they're a threat, but
It could have been that the Zenkethi was hit by the threat severely, and they've adopted it as a lesson. So we'll see what's going on with the next episodes.
yeah.
That would be my guess.
It's one of those things that
they've had a
seems
prior
like a
experience.
plot for future development.
Certainly.
So that is a featured episode. It's quite short.
It's longer than the last one.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it's a full-length mission.
Also, we get a Zenkethi equipment ship out of this one. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, new space set, including a warp core.
Yep.
This new information on the crystals the Zenkethi have been attempting to eradicate is disturbing to say the least. Starfleet will be monitoring the worlds we know of that contain these eggs. We'll be doing all we can to study them, and, if necessary, protect them. Despite the incident at Dranur, we don't know if this species is truly hostile. Finally,
And the question
even
is,
with officials in both the Lucari
the
and
lingering
Kantari
question is
governments, they're going
Admiral
to
Quinn
proceed
wearing
at Dranur
pants
despite the
for that
incident.
view screen shot?
We will continue to assist them.
He's got
in
like
this
Bahama
endeavor,
shorts, and
protect
the
them
screen
from
behind him is
any
just something that's propped
reprisals.
on Ryza.
Well, I
working
saw a
hard.
picture of Datan, so
Could be cut. Well, Datan could be doing the same thing too.
Yeah, it's him and Datan. They're both on Ryza. You know, just skipping work.
Yeah, Jim Pock is just left as the remaining commanding officer for the Alliance.
They left Sulu in charge.
But no one can find him.
Oh no, I put him in my latest mission. You can find Sulu.
Ooh, I forgot to mention that one observation I made about the difference between the mission map we were just on and the fleet holding map is that the mission map is apparently something like oh wait, I just realized something. If we attempting to go to the colony map, we're all going to end up in a different one.
We'll do that last. We got to do the
queue first.
The queues.
So which one do we want to start with?
Ground or space?
Ground. I think
also
let's go
Someone
ahead.
said the G word, so
ground.
we're going ground.
and anyone who wants to take a look at the new flying saucer ship, going to the space part of the Draenor fleet holding, you will actually see some of the flying saucer things flying around as NPCs.
Hey.
Wait.
There's also there's an additional customization lock that's come with season 14.
What's
Aliens can now use the Lucari eyes. They're labeled as small pupil.
Interesting.
Yes.
And they do look quite a bit different. They're a lot more vibrant than the existing eye colors. So for alien captains, it is actually a very interesting option for increasing some of the small visual touches. Just to make them a little more distinct from your standard humans.
I don't actually have that many alien characters, and most of the ones that I do have wear glasses or goggles. Actually, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, Sohath is the only one I have that's actually like a proper alien. The other two are attempts at recreating a canon species, so it wouldn't really work for them anyways.
It would certainly work if you wanted to make a Kantari player or a Lucari.
Mm-hmm.
So we're queuing for Dranor Beach Assault, which
And
is
anyone-
a 10-player queue.
Yep, we still got a few people left, so if anyone listening wants to join in, just go ahead and just join the normal version of Dranor Beach Assault. Just hop right in. General strategies for this one. Heal. And specifically, you want AoE healing powers, not the fabrications, but some of the things like the Omega reputation trait, or some of the new powers from Miracle Worker. That gives you a little bit more leeway. Tactical generally isn't that good for this one. Science can take down enemies pretty quickly, and then engineering's good for the defensive sections. It's like, I can kill things! It's like, okay, well, can you kill the shuttles in one hit? No. You're trying.
That's actually something interesting because of the fact that stacks are a bit screwed there. Oh well.
Yeah, I'd think for the third wave, especially one of the single most useful kit modules for this ground map is Sabotage for Engineering. Hit the shuttles once with that, and they explode. Because it'll take down mechanical units in one hit.
What the heck? I just had a thing that says, you unlocked the kit module Sompek Lightning.
Oh yeah, if you're logging in on a new character, sometimes a map transition, since the last season, that'll pop up once.
Yeah, but I didn't actually have it unlocked before, and I actually have it unlocked now.
Well, I reclaimed it on mine. Maybe it somehow unlocked it on yours. That would be a little funny.
Okay, do you have any other ones that you need? Like, we can test this. We can test this. Any others that you want to have unlocked?
I don't have the reiterative shield capacitor unlocked.
Oh, crap.
Okay. How about now?
I didn't see anything.
I just bought the phasers.
I got the phasers.
I was just checking.
Let's see this. Let's do a map transition and see if that.
You've acquired the prolonged entanglement weapons.
Well,
I got the message.
Interesting.
I
don't know that it actually unlocked anything.
Well, unless you had it before.
Well, this must be something to do with the new weekend event store.
Interesting.
It may just be the message.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no. So, like I said, I did not actually have the Sompek kit module unlocked before, and I bought one from the store after I got that message.
Oh, quick thing. Did you have it? Did you have the reputation project slotted?
Let me double check.
Because
I don't think so.
Because if you had it slotted, and you donated at least one mark to it, it auto completes with the new season.
That had not happened to me previously though, and I didn't have that project on this character.
Yeah, so it may have done it on the account. So that's something to look into. But just a heads up, we got matched for the Q group, so watch out for the message flying up. So careful on the map transitions right now.
I might go try my new Sompek thingy now.
Yeah, sound pack module is good. You definitely want some points though in kit readiness.
Oh, there we go.
Because that will decrease the cooldown, which is critical for that one since it's pretty long.
I always put points into kit readiness.
Quick bought a sabotage kit module.
Yeah. Don't even need to unlock it too. It just
it's not. It was like 90,000.
It is ridiculously undervalued. It will kill all mechanical enemies and sabotage everyone's weapons. They all go offline in an AoE radius. I have no idea why it's cheap.
Because it's not a DPS thing.
But it kills things in one hit.
Well,
maybe
it
get more
only
expensive
kills
as
enemy
more people
turrets in
figure
one
this
hit.
out.
Yeah, so it can kill all
Well,
mechanical
it's
units,
nice,
which includes Voth mechs. It takes those out in one hit.
Oh.
Like all of them, even the big ones.
Zinkethi's ships have reached our fleet blockade and are preparing for ground invasion. Their primary targets will be the orbital defense controls,
Just noticed
power
something.
generator controls,
The
and the central
when
computer
I'm looking at those computer consoles as we're doing that little spin around thingy,
until I can get a colony shield up to prevent
all of them look like they're offline.
Quick strategy. You guys going staying up on 3?
Your strategy guy, I'll do what you tell me to do.
Okay, so 3 people go to defend 3, and then 2 people go to defend the other one. So actually, let's just say, because we have a dingus on our team who may go any direction, you 3 stay up on top and defend that generator 3. I'll go down below and handle 2.
Why do I have a backpack labeled Alpha?
It's for teams, because there's a beta team too. So they're defending level 1, and then some people may come up to help me on level 2.
Yeah, I used my new sound pack thingy.
And you definitely don't want to just stand right next to the generator, because the Zinket, when they do their artillery, their radiation will wipe out computers. So stay a little bit away. If you need to, go and heal. And shout out if you guys need help on, because we actually got.
I think we're good.
Okay, it's taken a bunch of damage.
It did take a bunch of damage before we got it, essentially.
Okay, I'm gonna run over to you guys, because the Lucari weapon has an AoE healing effect. I can just stand there for a minute, take some shots. I'm healing it.
I don't think I can heal it.
You can heal it with AoE healing abilities. I'm not sure about like something like medical tricorder, but triage, good one. And then the medical worker healing. The only thing that don't work on it at this point, and this is probably a bug, is the
Rally Cry is the only tactical ability I can think of that could theoretically be used.
Alright, got it.
Because I do have a heal on this character, it's just that it's a heal that only affects your teammates.
Yeah, so anything like that, like motivation, it won't work.
Yeah, but like I said, motivation's only your teammates, it's not an actual proper
Yep,
heal.
so you need an AoE shield, AoE heal.
So
Maybe
far, we're doing okay.
Yeah, I brought it back up because I'm using an AoE heal.
Watch for the one on the roof there.
Yeah, for tactical, if you want to get more healing powers, just put a few points in the Miracle Worker, and you can slot in some of these points.
Grenade. Yeah, he did grenade.
Okay. Watch out for the mortar.
The colony shield is coming online now. Zinkethis are beaming down fortifications. They're going to set up artillery on the beach and try to breach the colony defenses, probably so they can steal the Lucari proto-matter technology.
And now what are we doing?
We're waiting for transport, then we do a beach offense section. And then once we get through that, we'll be defending the 3 transporter inhibitors.
The one time I played this so far, that was the hardest part.
Yeah, because the Zenkethi are basically a red herring. It's the shuttles that will take out the inhibitors. So if you're not paying attention to those, they will wipe you out. Yeah, since Dragoon has one of the modules, I'd say for sabotage, we both take separate ones.
Okay.
You'll see once we get to that point. Oh yeah, sabotage will also kill the cover shields. Check out the mortars though, those might be a little... Lightning!
This is a good lesson for Foundry authors. If you want to up the difficulty level of your combat, take your individual ground mobs and space them out a bit, so that people can't just Sompek lightning the whole thing.
Yep.
It's especially fun when you have multi-Sompek lightnings.
I've got the Sompek lightning gun. Super damage on a single hit, but it does chain.
It hurts a lot, even if it doesn't necessarily one-shot things.
Transport inhibitor 1 is now active.
Yeah. So there's transport inhibitor for us on the hill, on the platform, and then under the arch.
Okay.
I'll go take the hill. So once we turn on these inhibitors...
Ah, come on.
Well, once both sides turns on their inhibitors, we'll have to defend them. So you want to stay by those, keep an eye on the sky, and then occasionally push out the sync head. Guy in the sky, that's going to be key.
Inhibitor 2 is operational.
This one... Basically, if you don't know what to do, just stay by an inhibitor. Ever to get this one.
Transport inhibitor 3 is working.
So we need someone by the platform and someone under the arch.
Okay, I'll take the one by the platform.
Yeah, platform's relatively straightforward, and for engineer, you basically just...
It's the aqua one, right?
Yeah, you're there.
Alright, and I'm watching for shuttles. Oh, there it is.
Well, yeah, the shuttles will only come once we get through this round. So we need to get our last... Yeah, activate the 2 inhibitors.
Ah, crap.
So, anyone else who's not defending, go to the... I'll help with that one. And then I'll head back to the hillside.
Can someone res me? Or...
I'll be there in just a sec.
Transport inhibitor 5 is online. 1 to go.
And maybe I should have not stayed there trying to kill every single thing that moves, but...
Yeah, generally on this one, it's a little bit of a... the Zenkethi ground mobs are a little bit of a red herring. They
respawn incessantly.
Yeah,
and they're just basically there to distract you and slow you down.
Yep.
Gotta play the objective.
Yeah, so now...
I'll see what I can do about that ship they're landing.
Yeah, so I'll be good up here. And then if Dragoon has mines, then placing them...
I don't have mines.
Okay, the Zenkethi are basically going to come one way in front of you if they even notice you there at all.
Protect the inhibitor.
So, shuttle. Boom. Go. Notice the shuttle? Yep,
yeah.
you hit it. So, Mark, you might want to go...
I just
Mark,
realized
help
that I don't
Drogon.
have the ability to hit the shuttle.
Yeah, you...
I needed a longer range weapon than that, to be honest.
I'm going to swap weapons.
Yeah. So, Mark, you help Drogon on the one over by the arch, because our other player is...
That's where I'm located, actually. It's just that I realized while I was fighting the shuttle that I couldn't actually hit the stone.
Yeah. So the shuttles will spawn infrequently, so you just have to sort of keep an eye out for them and try to take them out as fast as possible.
Yep, I'm
Zenkethian noticed me.
Getting out of combat so I can switch to a rifle.
And the Omega reputation trait, that's going to be really useful for this one. Dragoon, you got a shuttle. I hit it.
Well, I'm hitting it with sabotage. There it goes. I'm like trying to hit it with sabotage and it's not blowing up.
We're probably going to lose
this
this
one
down
down
here.
here. Sabotage has like a few second delay.
Okay, maybe I blew it up. It took a few seconds.
Yeah. So it hits, there's basically an energy effect, and then it explodes.
Crap.
But it's the fastest way of taking it out besides just doing massive DPS. So basically, they always get a few shots in, but
my
it's sort of
transport inhibitor isn't doing so hot.
Okay. Yeah. Another shuttle.
One of the inhibitors was
Yeah.
destroyed.
So
it's not
if
mine,
you guys...
thankfully. But mine's not doing so hot.
That was this one.
Yeah. It's a lost cause, so go to the platform. Go to the platform. Do that immediately, because that's something that I see people do all the
These
time on this
stupid
one.
things, and come on.
They spam that ability that knocks you down. Very annoying.
Yeah.
No, it's when they get that whatever thing that makes them start glowing. They become almost immune to damage sometimes. They get down to like where there's a tiny sliver of health, and you can't even touch them half the time. Weird. Why is my health not regenning? That's actually something that just seems really strange, as I'm at a quarter health, and normally when you're out of combat for a few seconds, it regens, and it has.
Shuttles took another inhibitor out. Hold them back.
I'll say of the two, Beta's a little bit easier to defend, because you can basically the people like two of them are real close to each other, so someone covering one can easily cover the other.
I got us.
This one, strategy and planning do pay off. So this is a very tactical queue, and you still actually get the key reward, even if you.
Yeah, I mean it's not like you lose if you.
No, and the colony provisions you get out of this one, they don't change based on outcome. So the main reason you play this is the colony provisions, and yeah, those are perfectly secure. Just adjust the marks a little bit.
We actually did better than the first time I played this. So.
We were able to repel the assault force up here, and the colony's still intact.
Yeah, because we only had 2 left, and we still got 54 marks on normal.
That's one of those things where I look at the score, I look at what actually happened in the mission, and I'm like, wait, what? How does that count as a success?
Yeah.
Hey, we still had 2 left.
Yeah, it's for gameplay reasons that they're not going to deny us.
Except for the red alert.
Yeah.
The red alert will deny you marks if you
because you lost a planet. Come on. But also this one, it's also worth keeping in mind that this is only the last round, and you're gauged on success for the previous 2 as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I suppose that's a good point.
Which we did pretty well on.
Yeah.
Ooh, I found a piece of loot someone missed earlier.
Oh, is Twitch Fair Theta on beta?
I want to test something. Well, one observation I made about the colony holding version of this ground map is that if you run out in the middle of the lagoon, there's deep water there, and whenever you go into the deep water, it teleports you to the spawn point.
Yeah. Because there's deep water. So Twitch Fair Theta was on beta, and they did okay. But yeah, that one is sort of like, this is where I sort of made the comment on Twitter today, that the latest queues, you might be able to model player behavior on, according to a very particular model, a swarm of overexcited guinea pigs. Because there's something, they'll rush to it because they're really excited to see what that thing is. Is it food? Is it food? Is it food? It's stimulus. It's stimulus. It's stimulus. And then the objective doesn't go because you have to think. Take a step back, look around you, see what's going on, and then adjust your behavior.
See, this is why they got to hire science guys. Because they know about behavior.
This map apparently does not have a teleport volume in it at all. Unlike the version from the Fleet Holding, which, to be honest, I don't understand the purpose of the teleport volume, because it's not an area where I would expect the player to have an issue with getting stuck.
It could just be for deep water. They want to... I'll basically put it this way. They don't want players to go swimming, but they also want to have the impression that there is deep water there.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's
because
more
you can't
for
swim.
immersion's sake. Yeah.
Yeah, but why have a teleport volume? Why not just have an invisible floor?
Because then you'd be walking on nothing.
Yeah.
Instead of they're saving you from drowning.
Nothing. Whoa.
Yeah. So it's just, I think it's more for immersion's sake, and it's also
we picked up Spiritborn on our team. Cool.
Yep, he's joining us for the space queue here.
Question: do you always get the battery things for that ground one?
You always get provisions, yes. But which provision you get of the 3 types is always random.
I get batteries.
Yeah, for normal, you get 150 of one type. And it's 150 units in all these. You get basically 1 of those packs for normal, 2 for advanced, and those could be for the same ones too. So you can get up to 300 in total. And then I think it's 300 or 3 times for the packs on Elite.
Spiritborn said, why do you think I wasn't babbling in the stream chat? I guess Spiritborn was busy shooting things.
Yeah, I think he was on the beta team too.
We don't have a lot of time, so
he's with us for this one.
A large enemy force
have you guys played this one?
I have.
Okay.
I generally do pretty well at it.
Wait, was that a yes or a no?
You'll be able to activate them soon. Until then,
go ahead and take us through it.
Okay, so first it's a 3-wave thing again, but it's all defense. First wave is just one group of a random enemy faction in front of us. Second, 2 on the side, and then third round, 3 on all sides. The defensive options increase, so now we don't get any defenses. Next round, we get to activate satellites. Third round, we get to upgrade the satellites. What profession you are affects the satellite you upgrade. So if you're engineering, you get a Great Barrier satellite. Tactical, you upgrade so they get torpedoes, and then you get a few science options for science. And there's reasons that you would want one type in one position, one type in another. Science are kind of better for the back, and turns straight up front. And tactical is just kind of good to have on the side. So really
the damage is always useful when you're trying to kill things, right?
Engineering's most useful. On the front, but they're sort of useless on the side. So an engineer wants to sort of put make their right. And
we're kind of losing you there.
Yeah. So things going on. Engineering will want, like, right now it doesn't matter. So just go ahead, activate all the things. Next round, kind of thing. So engineers always should, basically the frontal turret should be theirs. And then engineering and tactical, all the ones on the side.
So I do a side turret?
No. It's, again, it only matters in the next wave. Because now we're just activating the base turret.
Spiritborn's advice is spread out for wave 2.
Yeah, you got to take 2 sides. And then third round is all sides. So 2 groups.
So central frontal assault, then flanking assault, and then all 3.
Yep. So let's see.
You and me will stay here, Mark.
Yeah, me and Dragoon will take. Yeah, they're going to come in from the far side of Dragoon. So,
hey, left or right side?
I'm on the north side, so
where the so north and south.
Oh.
And you notice the turret they're attacking. That's the end. That holds it back a lot.
I wonder what IFF
I'll tell you what, the console from the latest round of no-win scenario, Kobayashi Maru, works probably pretty well for carrier captains, because I popped it there and I was healing Mark's carrier pets.
Oh yeah, it's an AoE heal, so yeah, healing your pets. Yeah, I can definitely see how that would be handy. Well, one of the more amusing things about Starship traits is that the Starship trait I can think of that's actually keyed towards AoE healing is not on a carrier. Kind of weird. Because it's the one from the what was that thing called? That ship from Voyager that wasn't really a Federation ship.
Yeah, it gives an AoE heal to your Tachyon beam.
Well, see, the thing with that one though is that it makes all single target heals AoEs, so you can actually use it to make hazard emitters in AoE, and target someone else with hazard emitters.
Yeah, the one that adds the healing for Tachyon is the science variant of the command battle. I happen to know because I got that one. One tactical note too, if you see a turret get taken out, you can heal it. And that's actually useful because the turrets are pretty powerful. And they'll draw fire from the enemy groups. And you can heal them anytime and even while under fire too. So if you're sort of lacking for firepower on this one, sticking by the turret and sort of acting for support for it, that is not a bad strategy.
Minutes.
They shall not pass.
That is extremely appropriate here. Oh wait, I need to repair the satellite somehow.
Yeah, so just go up to it and then interact. And it takes a minute, but you can still fire your weapons while interacting with it.
Doing this queue is how I found out the Zenkethi Escort playable ship is actually very, very durable.
Oh crap.
I was holding one of these sides on my own.
I've had to do that in Mata Raptor, and yeah, there's some pretty durable...
Mata is pretty good, yeah, as well, for survivability.
Yeah, I was trying
Plus
to
it has that
too.
great, it has that great built-in cannon.
Yeah, I've got that
one.
on a... I basically got to build around that. That just tears through things, especially on an engineer too, because you can basically just say, I'm going to focus on firepower and then let the engineering abilities take care of the survivability. So I guess on this one...
How many fleets are the Zenkethi sending?
It's every time you kill one, another one spawns. So here, raw DPS isn't going to necessarily win. You got to team that with survivability. Because you might put on all the DPS, but it's not going to clear the enemies, so you're going to be taking fire throughout this whole thing.
So attempting to make them explode really fast is actually counterproductive.
You need to team the ability to blow things up fast with the ability to survive, so it's a much more balanced approach to combat. Or the other thing too is just interfere with them, and Science has got some great powers for that. Like, okay. So we're good on this side, and I will just make sure that we're all basically okay. We're all engineers, so it doesn't really matter.
So it doesn't matter.
The engineering shield will. It's not like it's a bad thing to put on the other turrets because
no, actually, Mark is attacked.
Yeah, Mark's attacked, so him sort of focusing a little bit more on this, the back turrets would be good.
I'm engineering. Which one should I be focusing on?
The front ones, so the ones that the Zenkethi attack first. But the other ones too will
I accidentally upgraded one of the front ones. Oops.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but that's basically the front turret that they hit first. If you're tactical or science, and you got an engineer on your team, leave it to them. And then just focus on the ones on the back. Engineers, likewise, focus on the ones in the front, and then if no one's got the one in the back, you might as well give it, because it does make the turret more durable.
Hang on up there.
And the thing you don't want to do is just to leave a turret unupgraded. You gotta get them
Oh,
up.
I see one. I'm upgraded.
Yeah.
Or
so now,
not.
yeah. So now 3 sides. So basically 2, 2, and then 1.
Oh boy. 2 people are here, so I'll go there.
Okay, so Mark, actually, I got a better build for taking it on solo.
I could use some help over here on the north side.
Okay, so Mark, go help Drogon, and then actually you both sort of split up.
Oh.
Alone. So one of you take one flank, one of you take the other flank. So one of the flanks is right now exposed. So you guys got to take the sides. I
just thought of something. Attack pattern delta would actually be a very useful ability for this. This because of the fact that the whole point of attack pattern delta is to reduce the damage your enemies do to you.
Guys, we're still in the center.
We
take the north or the south end on the mini map. Center, I've got.
All right, I'm going north.
I'll go south.
We got some damage turrets on the north side.
Yeah, Q, where my web mine launchers actually come in handy.
Yeah, because anything that just slows them down is going to be a great power. So this one is, I really like it because it does bring up a lot of more strategy than your typical PvE.
Get those Bronta cruisers first.
I finally had to use Miracle Worker! Finally!
Kind of interesting that they did not rename... Or no, they did actually. They renamed the old Miracle Worker skill into Miraculous Repairs.
Ah!
I wondered if they were going to do that.
I gotta say, these guys are murder on fighters. I mean, not as bad as some enemies, but bad.
They do a lot of AoE. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still doing perfectly fine here.
I mean, their AoE abilities tend to be relatively small AoEs, but they're the kind of AoEs that when they hit fighters, boom.
Mine are doing pretty well.
Both are the worst at killing fighters still, I think, but...
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh.
30 seconds.
This Dreadnought. More exotic damage. Or
I have to say, this rally point marker is actually a really useful thing to have. Drop it, fly outside, fly back inside.
yay!
Did we win?
We won.
We did.
All three made it.
I'll tell you what isn't good for this queue. The Corbomite maneuver.
We'll continue to bring the colony's defenses on.
Because it actually makes your enemies speed up.
We'll be ready. Both the
Oh.
Centauri and the Lucari governments are thankful for your work here today, and so am I. The colony will continue on.
Yeah, Bombs Dreadnought, I can't recommend highly enough for this one. Especially on exotic damage with an engineer. Oh god, this just it monsters them pretty well. Like I was doing the Vodwar, and they were melting. Like these guys are pretty tough, and they were holding out for a little while. Yeah, I mean you can do a lot on this one with strategy, just to make this go a lot more easily. It's when you're doing with like a stock, like fire at will, gravity well build, then it gets gravity well can still be pretty useful. But like shield, like power drain build's gonna be really good on this one. Control build's gonna be really good. Maybe like AoE healing, but I noticed like if you try direct heal, it doesn't work on the satellites. So you can't just say an engineering team or hazard emitters it. But I haven't tried an AoE build yet.
Okay, so it says
apologize.
marks for defeating 9 dreadnoughts. So that's, I guess you get that if you've defeated 9 or more.
Yeah. We only got 6.
I was pounding on one at the end, but I guess I didn't get it killed fast
No.
enough.
Yeah. That one, it's the Zenkethi dreadnoughts on that one, just because you have to kill them from the front. Those can be pretty tough to finally get down.
Still decided to crash on me.
Oh.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, I wasn't. I forgot about that whole kill them from the front thing.
Yeah.
That's why my my little Zenkethi escort seems to work very well, is because he can easily get in front and just pound him.
Yeah. I like the exotic damage build because it doesn't matter where I'm hitting them from.
Also, I think my Tricobalt mines were probably not doing much of anything to the dread because they would come. They were hitting it from a random angle and usually not the front.
Whee!
Yeah, because this character was using the Tricobalt cluster torpedo. So starting off, would you guys like for me to show you how to escape the Inviswall?
Well, we got to wait for our cameraman here.
Oh, right.
I'm back.
This Dragoon crashed.
I'm going to go surfing. Eee. Yeah, if you need a surfboard and you were around for the giveaway, the feature flyer, definitely nice to have.
Yes, it was.
It's really fast and speed is good.
And you can just reclaim it from the C-store right away, so you don't have to, like, say, go to your account bank, go to where you stash your Ryza goodies.
You don't have to, buy it for favors from Ryza.
Yeah. I will say, if you get the camera underneath the water, at least in some areas, and you look up, you'll see the white box texture pattern on the water instead of the actual transparency. Cryptic is aware and is working on it.
Oh, I'd actually noticed that earlier, and I was wondering if it was a bug or not.
It's a bug. Yeah, that was a Twitter conversation. Yeah, Cryptic knows.
There's a few other minor bugs I've noticed with this one, is that when you see the water splash effect anywhere on this map, the water splash effect is usually coming from your character's waist, but that happens whether your character is waist deep in water or not. So if you're only ankle deep in water and it does the water splash effect, it still does the water splash effect at your waist.
Hold on. Wait a minute. What is this?
What do you mean, what is this?
There's a giant disc in the middle of the lagoon.
Yeah.
It's a
Wait,
big,
where are you standing?
Right where I am right now. Middle of the lagoon. Under the water. Oh, it's like a teardrop. So it's either a misapplied texture or a feature that we'll learn about at some point. They could add something in the middle of the lagoon.
Oh, that! I know what that is. It's a texture difference, all right. One thing that they did on this map that is a bit weird is that they added artificial shadows to the textures used.
Because it looks like the sand texture.
Yeah, exactly. That's
but it's in the wrong direction.
It's the sand texture, but it's recolored to make it look darker.
Yeah, and it's also in going in a different direction than the grass texture. So I wouldn't be surprised if at a later point, like we actually get something there. Unless that's
exactly
just a visual bug.
It is, because one of the things I did when I was exploring earlier was to go outside the lagoon area into the ocean and look at the seafloor. The seafloor uses the same thing to show where the deep water is.
Okay, so it could just be a little trick to make it look like the water is deeper than it is.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, watch this.
Wow, that time when I got off the surfboard, it didn't even wait for me to fall into the water.
Yeah.
Oh, I broke it. I jumped too much on the surfboard, and it registered me as being in deep water.
Oh, here. Watch.
So, in case,
when you're surfing, it'll actually show the water ripple coming from your character's waist.
I've actually got it in normal place for me.
So in case you haven't checked this out yet and you have no idea what map we're running around on, this is the new fleet holding, the Draenor Colony. This is the under construction Tier 0 version. So our Starbase UGC fleet hasn't progressed past that, and probably nobody has yet.
No.
Just given the time involved.
Yeah.
And leveling these things up.
Federation Reborn, we actually did get all of the projects started relatively quickly. It's just,
gotta wait for the cooldowns.
So
yeah, the projects are not meant to complete beyond a certain speed.
Yeah. My fleet's been
nobody has slotted projects. We've completed some, but nobody has them slotted at the moment. I will have to crack some heads.
Ooh, I just found something cool. I found a Lucari who brought a portable hammock.
Oh, yeah. There's some beach props here that the hammocks. I want a hammock, because you know where I'm going to put that hammock? Admiral Quinn's office.
Why is that your answer for everything?
What is Admiral Quinn in your mind? He's like some,
he's Homer
lazy...
Simpson. He's basically Homer Simpson in charge of Starfleet. Slightly more competent. He's kind of been at it for a little while. But that's kind of the mentality, where he's a little bit of a doofus. And it's really fun to write him that way. But anyway, I want to have one of those hammocks so I can put it in Admiral Quinn's office. Just to see, and just have as an optional dialogue when you're doing your mission briefing, that the player could bring up the subject of the hammock. But they could also not do that.
In which case, he can direct them to the hammock district on Earth Space.
Yes. Or it could be even part of a mission. You actually have to go to the hammock district.
Yeah, to procure a hammock.
Yeah.
You broke my hammock. Go get a new one immediately.
Or his hammock broke, and he's trying to make it sound like it's an important mission of the entire galaxy, but you just have to go pick it up for him. And the one thing we should probably point out here is that for people who need more provisions, this is actually the most lucrative way of getting them.
There's missions
and
here.
easy.
Yeah.
If you're good at mini games, it's quick and easy.
Yeah. Because once you spawn in, you've got the transporter, the security officer who handles basically the beam out functions and the transwarp stuff once that's unlocked. But then a little bit ahead, you've got the other contact, gives the mini games. Go, complete the mini games.
You don't actually need to talk to the contact to pick up the mini game mission, though. You
can actually just run the new projects. I go put in my provisions I had acquired, and new project signed up.
Yeah.
And well, I'll tell you what I'm doing right now is I'm opening our Discord, and I'm going to tell whoever is listening there, slot some projects.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I have any characters who can.
You can also use the coffer system, which is new to the fleet holding, where where you can basically just put in resources, and then whoever's going to be opening up that project next, they're going to be pulling from that pool of resources. So you can basically put in projects and hey, even if you're not online, your resources will go in, just for whoever is happening to complete that project.
So with the coffer, I guess you get the fleet credits when you donate it to the coffer, and then whoever fills the project, since they're pulling it from the coffer, they don't actually get anything from it.
They will still actually get some things from it. I think it actually splits it. So you still, if you want to get maximum fleet credits, provisions don't actually offer that much. So it's actually not that big of a deal. Because the most lucrative thing is going to be fleet credits, actually fleet marks, yeah.
And dilithium.
And always dilithium. And bridge officers too, or duty officers. But yeah, it basically is a way of setting things up, building up that reserve for whoever's going to be putting into that. So people who aren't, say, online during when the project starts, you're still making valuable contributions. So it's actually been, for my fleet, very painless, because we've been getting these projects basically squared away before they're ready. So we just right away, boom, we get them in.
So for our fleet, we may not have permissions set where we can all donate. So
yeah, you guys might want to change that.
Because Dragoon and I both cannot donate to the coffers yet. So
okay,
so I'm thinking that might be a permissions thing.
It might be a permissions thing. They can check the settings to see if they've added one. It could also be it hasn't been unlocked yet. I mean, it may be you have to complete projects up to a certain point, but actually, no, for us it unlocked right away. So, yeah, it might be a permission thing.
Yeah, I mean, we've completed stuff on this one before, so.
Yeah, you should be good for the coffers.
I'll have to look into that later.
The one thing I'll say with coffers...
Actually, I can slot some projects on this.
Yay!
So which ones are the best ones to do?
The ones that award 1,000. So it's basically you look for cost time.
Yeah.
And
the number one thing I always look for is the ratio of project XP to dilithium required.
Oh, I can select projects too.
Well, it's not. It's not actually letting me. I select them. So.
Okay.
Maybe not. I guess.
Yeah, actually, it's the permissions thing that's okay. Yeah, you guys want to check a couple of permissions. One of them is able to use coffer for a fleet project, so that's actually being able to pull from the coffer. You guys want to enable that. And let's see, and able to donate to fleet coffers. That's another permission you have to.
So they did add new permissions for that.
There are new permissions. Fleets will have to square those away in order to make use of the feature, and it's very useful. So I highly recommend opening both up, so you guys can make maximum progress. Because the way the provisions are designed is that it's really hard to make progress as a single character. But easier to make progress if it's a bunch of people donating, because otherwise one person has to do a massive grind. And it's also time gated in a few ways. So the idea here is that there's a resource, kind of like fleet marks. Everyone can earn that. And you all want to be chipping in as much as possible to the pool. So it rewards active mass fleet activity a little bit more than just dedication on a few players, which you can get through with dilithium and fleet marks.
I am informing the folks from our fleet who can do that to activate those options.
Yeah, one thing with my fleet is that apparently I'm the person who's the best at acquiring these colony, whatever dinguses.
Yeah. And the new queues, the two that we played will offer them. The miscellaneous news and Cathy alert does not, but then that's not specifically associated with the fleet holding. And it compensates.
And it sucks anyway.
I actually don't mind it. It's a little bit more of a frenetic one. So it's, for me, it's keep a bunch of things going at once. And
I just don't like it because you can lose it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not like I don't understand the ideas behind that, but if I'm going to invest my time, I want to be able to get the marks out of it. So
yeah,
I will be doing
it's one of those
other
ones. Yeah, where if you have a rampaging mass of guinea pigs as a team, it can be easy for one of those torpedoes to slip through.
Mm-hmm. Which is what happened in the one I played. We got through almost all of it, except then that happened.
So I guess with the new PvEs, Cryptic's really doing a good push for making thought come into play a lot more than some of the previous queues.
Yeah, you can't just spike DPS everything to death and win.
Yeah, because there's additional facets that you can actually use, and those will reward other types of playstyles. Now, not so much on the alert because it's just AoE all the time, but the other ones definitely, the way you think about the queue is going to pay off. And I hope that they keep going with that because I'm having a lot of fun with these.
The most hilarious thing that they've ever done in that regard, though, was with the Voth, where the Voth had the reflective shield gimmick where they not only become immune to damage, but bounce everything back at the player shooting them.
Those are the worst to play in the Gauntlet because it's basically they spawn in and instantly turn those shields on because the turret's firing at them.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, it's horrible if you're in front of them, but you know they always do that. So when you're actually fighting the Voth, actually you want to sit behind their respawn point because then you can just blow them up.
Well, see, the observation I always made from the battle zone, which admittedly is something that's more of a thing for the battle zone than for general Voth stuff, is that if you're fighting one of them, they will usually activate that on whichever shield facing is the first to take damage.
Yeah, and in the PvE, because they're facing the turret, and the turret responds instantly to their spawning in. That's why their front shield goes. Yeah, they're basically the front arc is protected. So that's why you sit behind them.
But the counterpoint to this, though, is that since this behavior is so predictable, it's also exploitable because what I would always do to them in the Undine battle zone is I would circle strafe them and basically laugh at them because I binged their front shield, but I didn't really throw any effort into it, and then I just fly around the side and then pound the living crap out of them.
Yeah. Another strategy that will work is a exotic damage build with the Proton science consoles, which is what I've got running. Because
aren't those the things that do double damage to Voth anyways?
Their additional AoE or their additional exotic damage hit will do double damage against Voth, and it's already really powerful. So exotic damage with those consoles might be the way to go because it will melt them.
Okay then. So
I kind of feel like since we're here, we should probably do a shout out to the Starbase UGC fleet for Foundry authors who haven't found a fleet yet because they spend all their time in the Foundry. There's a fleet for you already.
Yeah. On the Fed side, we're pretty well upgraded. We got most things. So on the KDF side, it's not. So
yeah, and that's typical with the KDF in general.
Yeah,
there's less KDF players, so you know.
Which surprises me because we're a bunch of Foundry authors who spend all our time in the Foundry.
Yeah.
And when do we find time for fleet projects?
My fleet's been very supportive, even though the Foundry too. I know one of the players will occasionally listen to Foundry Roundtable. So yeah, it's just there's a lot of diverse groups out there. But if you guys
why don't they all, Duncan? Why don't they all listen?
Because they don't know yet how awesome we are.
And whose fault is that?
I'm gonna blame Primar. Because that's what you do.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a while. Blame Primar for stuff. So
yeah,
there we go.
But yeah, if like I really like my fleet, but if you guys are looking for a fleet, yeah, Starbase UGC could use the help. So.
Okay, so you guys are you guys ready to go stare at the bottom of the ocean?
Under the sea, under the sea.
That was really pretty bad.
Really pretty bad or just awful?
Just our normal level of awful.
Okay.
Well, since we can't go up from here, perhaps we should wrap things up.
Yes.
So we want to play the new alert. Come on. Some people love it.
No,
Can we do it in 15 minutes? We can do it in 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah, it's a quick one.
Alerts are usually about 5.
Okay.
Except in that cool alert, which they extended it by making you fly across the map 2 or 3 times.
Well,
I'm not a fan, but I will take one for the team.
Okay, yeah. You can end up flying across the map a few times if your team isn't guinea pig mode. Let's just call it that at that point. If they're all rushing to one side, you might have to bounce around a little bit, but it's usually pretty good. So
let's do listen to Duncan mode.
Okay, so listen to Duncan mode. You guys split off into 2 teams, and then you handle all the guys around the satellite. One person sticks around the satellite, then another person at the satellite goes forward, takes care of the battlefield group. And they'll shout out if any protomatter torpedoes get past them, so the guy on backup, cleaning up by the satellite, can shoot the torpedoes.
I find it interesting that we have Martok as the NPC for this.
Yeah.
None. One hit.
Well, that's what Cryptic tends to do with their guest stars, just using context. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to go right, one person go with me, everyone else go left.
Alright, I guess I'll go with you.
Okay. So, again,
Dragoon and I will go left.
Yeah, so you hit the satellite, everything around the satellite, and then immediately there's going to be torpedoes coming in from kind of back where we just were. So, in 2 groups. Those guys have to take. And then once everything's taken care of, you get the group in the middle, and everyone moves. So the way this works is actually how I tend to make space combat with my missions. Is that once you kill a group, another group spawns in, and you can do that with triggers in the Foundry.
Destroy enemy battleships.
So once groups spawn in, it's very context dependent on what
they're launching protomatter torpedoes.
Very predictable.
Destroy them and take out those ships.
You guys got.
I see the torpedo.
Side. Yeah, the torpedoes are coming in on your side, and the station's still getting attacked. So one person stays with the station.
Okay, I'm going after the torpedoes.
Yeah.
Alright, Jorgen's going after the torpedoes.
I got the torpedoes.
Okay. So Mark, stay behind on the station if we get more enemies, and then I'll go. And... Oh, we still got one.
Stupid frigate! I already killed you the first time.
There we go. So now we should be getting our group spawning in the distance. There we go. I'm gonna go beat them in battle. I'm gonna set my fighters into intercept mode. They'll focus on torpedoes.
This torpedo spread seems to work well on those.
I think the torpedo just detonated when it hit me.
I wonder if these are copy off of the boss. If so,
one's getting through. Some are getting through. I got him.
I'm dead. Dragoon, watch for torpedoes.
Yep, I'm on it.
Alright, my side's almost clear.
Why does this thing keep refusing to shoot at me? Seriously. I'm pounding the crap out of this cruiser, and it's...
Are you hitting it from the side? So you want to make sure you're hitting it from the front, unless you're hitting it with shield penetrating abilities.
No, what I was talking about wasn't how quickly I was damaging it, but the fact that I couldn't aggro it. It seemed to be like permanently aggroed.
And it's possible it might be.
Yeah, so it seems like if you set your fighters on the intercept mode, they'll immediately go after the torpedoes.
Apparently their frigates have an immunity yet. Don't understand how that works.
Okay, so Mark's group is the last one. Oh, wait, before these guys show up, but they've showed up. So Mark's got to take care of his guys. We've got to converge on the middle.
Wait, how do we all end up over here?
Because I came over there after my group was killed to help you guys with torpedoes.
We need to worry about the other side?
No, because the middle is the only one spawning torpedoes now. Mark's just got to take care of some standard enemies. The torpedoes are only coming in from the front now.
Also, apparently you can use hazard emitters to heal these satellites, and mine needs it very badly.
Right, you got to take care of that side quickly.
It's too bad I can't use rally point marker to heal the thing. Or can I? I think it may actually be healing now that I threw a rally point marker around it. Right. I'm not seeing any enemies.
Alright, if there are no enemies by you, you gotta come over here now. Again, this is very much like a Foundry mission where enemies will, well, Foundry mission I've made, where enemies will spawn in based on triggers for the enemies just killed. It proceeds in sequence. Once the two battleship groups that are firing torpedoes are killed, this middle group will spawn. The side groups, they'll spawn in once the battleship groups. Once you kill them, though, you're basically free. Those don't trigger anything else. So once you're done with the groups of satellites...
Oh, we got him.
So yeah, you proceed in sequence through these combat mobs, but you just take out the combat mob and that's it.
Excellent work. Not a single one of their
and now to collect our loot from the corpses of our enemies.
Such an attack again.
Now the game would figure out which reputation I actually need.
And they crave revenge almost as strongly as a Klingon.
I've been taking fleet marks on this guy because I reminded myself I wanted to get him some of those TOS themed Git mods from the A13.
Kleegot is fun. I really wish I'd had a Kleegot with me for those shuttles, because throwing Kleegots at those shuttles would do a lot of damage to them, I think.
Nah, the Kleegot got nerfed a little bit, so it's not going to have the raw firepower necessary to take down the shuttle. You'll get through the shield, but they'll still have more health.
The thing that I was saying though is that it won't like one-shot them like it used to, but when they reduced the amount of damage it does per hit, they also greatly reduced the cooldown on it.
Yeah, so it's still, the sabotage module is still going to be good. Soundpack is actually pretty good on that too, so long as you save it up.
Oh yeah,
turrets.
I tried the Soundpack module out. That was fun.
Yeah, turrets too, and the Solar Gateway module.
Actually, you know what? Overcharged turrets. Anyone can use them. Although I'm not sure how good they would be against shuttles.
Yeah, that's the that's the Iconian one.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna do nothing because it's not. It just won't be able to hit them because the shuttles move. So overcharged turret.
Too fast.
Well, all right. That was season 14 content. Able to get through all of it in one night. Haha.
Aha.
2 hours even.
2 hours. Hope you enjoyed that. Obviously, we hope the Foundry will be back before our next show. And then we'll be able to delve into the 26th century challenge.
Yay.
And that one will have an awesome reward to it, one that you will want if you don't have it already. But I'm not going to say what it is. I will say what it is when I post the challenge thread.
Oh, so you won't even tell us after the show?
I might tell you after the show. We'll see. We'll see. All right. But that will do it for us for this evening. So, Dragoon, if you want to put up our contact info.
Okay. We can be reached by email at foundryroundtable@live.com. We're also on Twitter at foundryroundtab. Drogan can be reached at Drogan1701. Duncan can be reached at Gorkanops_SSF. Mark can be reached at MAR_Hawkman. And I, of course, can be reached at Greendragoon.
And don't forget to check out our new show, The Discovery Roundtable, where we are talking about each new episode of Star Trek Discovery as they air. Check it out on our YouTube channel. But for now, we will say good night.
Good night.